Hello everyone, this is DuckloadRa giving you a shoutcast between Satiini and DuckloadRa here on Metalopolis. Satiini spawning as the orange Terran player at the 6 o'clock position, meanwhile DuckloadRa spawning as the red Protoss here at the 9 o'clock position. So this is going to be close air spawns here on Metalopolis. This is the Blizzard version of the map, so it was actually possible to do an ally spawn, but that is not going to be the case here. Now, based upon the positionings of these two players, a lot of dropship play and a lot of air play could come into effect. Also, the importance of this particular Xel'Naga Watchtower will be made apparent just because that is the main way that players will be trying to move across the field with their ground forces. So their ground forces will be revealed along this location here. You could try to run Hellions or other fast moving units along the far side as well in order to get damage onto the third base. I do expect a more macro style of play unless the harassment is very effective and thereby shortening up the mid game even further. You can see standard play coming in from both players. No proxy pylons, no proxy pylons, no gas first, nothing too out of the ordinary. And this is what you're going to see about 90% of the time at high level play. The higher you get in high level play, the more players just try to stick to standard builds, because the standard build is also able to fend off cheese if you know what you're doing. And then you're going to have a very strong economic lead going into the latter portions of the game as well. You can still see Satiini mining away down over here. Meanwhile, DuckloadRa mining away over here. Nothing out of the ordinary just quite yet, as both units will be passing by with their scouting units in just 1 second. If you, based upon the timing, they probably have a good idea where their opponent has in fact spawned, but they still want to check up into this location before making sure that it is going to be a close air spawn here on Metalopolis. The problem is that Satiini now going to be able to get up one Marine onto that high ground portion, and now Satiini making its way to the ramp, and also will allow him to try to shoot down this probe before the probe actually gains any significant sight. Back over here, we are getting a second barracks. The second barracks is being built a little bit further away just to make sure that the probe, if he does sneak up, he has to really overcommit in order to get in and see that particular location there. Concussive Shell and Marauders currently being researched as the SCV wandering around. The Zealot looks like he could have gotten one more hit in there, but decided not to, as the units now back off. Back over here, DuckloadRa or DuckloadRa continuing to mine away. Gonna warp in, I believe, another gateway now, and then go back to mining here. This is all off of one gas as the second assimilator now being placed down. The one probe over here activating this Xel'Naga Watchtower. The probe should be able to win that battle, but no, the probe deciding to back off as the Marine is close enough by to get some damage onto that probe. Hopefully that Marine can get close enough, get some damage, and then move away. A Zealot, however, making its way over as well, as this one SCV will get destroyed, fighting at the main Xel'Naga Watchtower. And oh, a Concussive Shell Marauder coming in, joining in on that fight. And now DuckloadRa going to lose this very early Zealot and very early probe as well, and that is going to hurt DuckloadRa. DuckloadRa desperately needs to get a sentry out. Is he going to be able to get it off in time? And oh, upgrade, warping up onto the high ground and almost able to destroy that Stalker there. And that was huge, getting a lot of early damage onto that Stalker. The Stalker now going to try to get some more damage onto those units as they simply walk up that ramp. And now, oh, that Stalker down to 2 hit points. And this is going to be a problem as a bunker now being placed in. SCV should probably be on auto repair as this early aggression now coming in. Probes coming off the mineral line. Gateway is now upgrading 2 warp gates as the probes now coming in. Marines and Marauders both sides battling it out and trying to get as much damage as possible. The probes just simply falling to the wayside, but that upgrade to tech to those warp gates, front loading those Stalkers, is desperately going to help out there, as now the Marauders dealing more damage towards the Stalkers, trying to go after the lower hit point units. The Marines need to jump inside that bunker, and in a hurry, in order to get more damage in. One Marine, another Marauder going to jump inside there as more damage is dealt. A second bunker now underway as the Marauders and Marines trying to figure this out. Need to jump inside that bunker once more, and this is going to be a problem. The probes are going to be able to get a lot of damage in there. Marines now finishing off this particular unit as the Marauders now try to jump out and get even more damage onto more probes. This SCV still building another bunker Is enough damage going to be dealt? It looks like Virus Satiini not going to be able to continue to capitalize on this. Now needs to focus down more units as Marines are on the low ground, dealing damage up onto the high ground, and another Zealot going to get taken down over here. The Marine over here going to finish off that one particular Zealot, but the bunker, because it is not built, no units can hide inside there, and this bunker will get cancelled. There it goes, cancelled at the last moment, and now Satiini hoping that he did enough damage. 23 SCVs compared to 14. Did I miss something? Wow, I did not believe that Satiini would actually have been that far behind in terms of his economy. He is getting a second command center, but he is very far behind. I had thought that he had continued his SCV production, but in order to keep up with his unit production, he actually did more damage than he was able. He actually took more damage than he was able to dish out. Income-wise, you can see 740 versus 700. Protoss mining 100 gas more, and this is off of double mules, so Satiini was not keeping up in terms of his macro, and that is going to hurt him. 29 29 food army versus 43, and another soccer down to 4 hit points, almost destroyed as the Marauders sitting over here at this location, and now Stalker unable to get repaired as those probes are not able to repair units, now simply returning home. Now at this stage, I'm not sure if DuckloadRa realizes the advantage that he's currently in. He probably thinks that he's pretty far behind, and because of the natural defense that Satiini had, he didn't want to rush into that particular ramp location. As soon as that robotics facility is completed and an observer can make its way inside the base, by that time there's going to be more SCVs, more mules, and that's going to significantly help Satiini as well. Back over here, DuckloadRa is transferring probes to the low ground, still double training more probes, and that is going to continue to help him. A low hit point Stalker going to try to test the waters on this front door. That is not going to work out well, but the bunkers acting as a deterrent. It's very difficult to know what's inside a bunker, but you can tell when a bunker is empty. You can see that there is nothing in these locations here. So if you're looking for an animation to see if a bunker is full or not full, as soon as the Marines and the Marauders jump inside the bunker, you'll see an additional animation right there. Wait for it. Is he gonna go inside? There you go. So the bunker actually lowers itself, and that's how you can tell. And the lights are on for the units that are sitting inside there. We are getting a factory now to scout out DuckloadRa. DuckloadRa is revealed to have a robotics bay. Sentries now making their way over. The factory is taking a fair amount of damage as more Stalkers trying to get more damage onto that factory, perhaps trying to get it to burn down. But the starport is already in play. Double trained medevacs, and the Marines and the Marauders gonna try to do a drop into this location. Should perhaps try to drop right here, as there is a pylon, or if he drops right here, that would work out well too. But now dropping straight into this location and revealing his location, that is not going to work out well for him, as these Marines and Marauders need to jump in here, get as much damage as possible. And there you go, finally dealing some damage towards those Zealots and those other units as well. Perhaps jumping back into the medevac would be a very, very smart call there, and now able to move away. I think the fact that he actually destroyed this pylon hurt him. He should have dropped along this side here and then not seen this pylon, and then after all the units were unloaded, stimmed up and then walked into this location to try to destroy multiple units. We are getting an observer now in. We also see another reactor being built, so Satiini, not learning from the previous game, trying to go into double medevacs or double medevacs or quadruple medevacs or quadruple Vikings. Once again, we'll see how this works out, as I expect both players to try to expand in just a moment. 42 probes compared to 35, and this is a rather low probe or worker count at this stage in the game for this high level of play. Are they keeping on top? Yes, SCVs and probes are still being trained. It's just that a lot of damage was dealt by both sides. Satiini has yet to start upgrading any of his units. Now is trying to get even more and more Marines and Marauders. So I believe Psystorm will work out very well. The pylon over here on that high ground, the Marauders stimmed and some Marines able to get some damage. Down goes that one pylon there. Kind of a freebie, as another pylon needs to be warped in as well. 91 compared to 78. We are supply locked by Satiini, as Satiini now making its way across the map, perhaps trying to see if there is any additional expansion. So both sides just sitting on 2 bases and trying to get a very strong economy going, and DuckloadRa going also into a Templar Archives. So we are going to be getting Psystorm. Those High Templars should be warped in relatively quickly so that they can start gathering energy while that Psystorm research is started. One Marine quickly, easily getting taken down as the Marines and the Marauders. Still no upgrades just quite yet. Zealot charge. So the Zealot leg speed upgrade also coming underway in just a moment, and also adding Immortals to the group. So Immortals going to be able to deal a lot of damage against those Marauders, and hoping that the Hardened Shield will be able to protect them from a significant amount of damage. Marauders and Marines still looking to move across the map even further. A Nexus most likely will be warped in here in just a moment, establishing that all-important 3rd base. But Marines and Marauders are going to be coming into this location and perhaps shutting it down. We are getting Zealots on the move, and the Zealot Marine Marauder may perhaps force his hand and try to move back with these units. No, the Marines and Marauders going to snipe down that one pylon there, and now snipe down this expansion location. So resetting the expansions on both sides, as Satiini now establishing his own expansion. And now we are also getting a drop, so Satiini doing a 2-prong play over here, gonna drop in units along the backside and get a lot of damage in very, very easily. Perhaps going after probes. Is he gonna be able to snipe down that Nexus? Is gonna be a key proposition. Going after the robotics bay first. The bay has been taken down, and now trying to just get some distance between those 2 locations. The Zealots do not have charge just quite yet, and those units need to retreat. A couple of Marauders, and a feedback onto a low hit point medevac, but that medevac was essentially empty, so no real loss there, just a lot of damage dealt to a medevac. Marauders now once again returning home as the Nexus has been re-established. A lot of High Templar, 3 High Templar with a decent amount of energy, and no Colossi yet, even though we had the robotics bay for quite some time. It did not look like he was able to train up 1 Colossus. So now we are going into the robotics facility, as now SCVs, no, Marauders and Marines, trying to take down that 1 Zealot command center being established. SCVs should be transferred over. We're still sitting at 49 Harvesters from each player. Mules now being called in, so Satiini going to get an influx of an additional 1,800 minerals a minute, and that is going to help him out tremendously once more. Marines and Marauders, it's 600 minerals a minute, sorry, miscalculation there. 1,800 minerals a minute would be very, very broken. So SCVs and mules are starting to mine. This missile turret is going to slow down the mule harvesting back over here, as another base being established by DuckloadRa at the 11 o'clock expansion location. A Zealot trying to chase after that 1 Marauder. However, it looks like it is going to be able to get off. No, not even able to get off 1 swipe there after it activated that charge. A high ground expansion also being established, as well as the Zealots and Stalkers looking to expand into this particular location and also provide some additional defense. Level 2 weapons upgrade, level 2 ground armor, Ghost being added in addition to the Mobius reactor. So that will be able to offer a lot of help, as well as personal cloaking now being researched for those ghosts. A lot of observers need to be trained up, otherwise those ghosts are going to be able to get EMP shockwaves off very, very easily. There are not that many observers in the field, only 2 at this stage. 1 observer here and another observer here, so they are not going to be able to really reveal any of those ghosts in time. Zealot quickly getting destroyed once more. No real reason to use Stim Pack in that particular instance, as your army was so much larger. DuckloadRa does have a decent amount of sentries with a lot of force fields, 20 force fields between them, and I like this play by DuckloadRa, having the Warp Prism hold on to a significant number of High Templars, so he can drop those High Templars after the EMP shockwaves and get those EMP shockwaves down. The Marines are not going to be able to deal that much damage, and with no Vikings in the air, because there are no Colossi, this Warp Prism is going to be able to carry some very, very precious cargo. Medevacs, a lot of them do have a lot of energy. The medevacs having 150 hit points and can carry 200 energy. That's going to be a problem, as we now have zealots running straight into the base here. So the zealots now getting some charge, getting some damage over here, as the main Marine Marauder army, the zealot stalker High Templar army now on the move. The Vikings are also over here as well. And oh, the Vikings completely ignoring that warp prism. And that was huge. He could have easily taken down multiple High Templars, and that was just a lucky break by DuckloadRa, not losing 4 High Templar that early in that battle. Zealots now simply is coming around, going to be able to charge in very easily. High Templar, oh, EMP Shockwave hitting off a lot of those units. Another EMP Shockwave should be coming in, but so much Psystorm and feedback and so much damage being dealt. Satiini taking so much damage here. There are, double nuclear silos, but no damage has really been dealt at all. There is a ghost here launching a nuke, but I do not believe that much damage will be had, as the High Templars and Guardian Shields now trying to finish off the rest of this location here. We do have one more nuke ready to launch, and it looks like a second one is going to launch over here, but it's only going to just deplete some of the shields, not really deal that much damage at all. SCVs coming off the mineral line, trying to fight back. There is an Archon. That Archon does have decent amount of armor, or a decent amount of hit points, does get finally taken down here, as the Stalkers now fighting back against these Vikings and Marines. But the command center over here has been destroyed. The planetary fortress now taken down. One photon cannon. Oh, another nuke. It looked like it was going to be coming in, but there's the GG. Unable to get that third nuke down, but that nuke wasn't really dealing that much damage either. So DuckloadRa winning 2-0 against Satiini here on Metalopolis. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed this 1v1 replay between Satiini and DuckloadRa. DuckloadRa winning 2-0 in what I expect what was a best of 3 now. So yeah, really solid play. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening.